Hi, you're watching India Post Live, India's first web TV news conversation online. I'm Shivraj, and today we're discussing whether anti-dowry laws are actually being misused. You too can join in on the conversation by logging on to indiapostlive.com. You can also tweet with us, #IndiaPostLive, or use the handle @IndiaPostLive. Well, last week, the Supreme Court said that women were increasingly using the anti-dowry law to harass their in-laws. They cited low conviction rates and directed state police personnel not to directly arrest those accused by the women, but to do a quick check before. Let's take a look.
In a landmark judgment on the anti-dowry law, the Supreme Court of India refrained the police from automatic arrests of the accused or their relatives on mere lodging of a report under Section 498A of the Indian Penal Code. It has now become mandatory for police to verify the claim under Section 41 of Criminal Procedure Code before making an arrest. According to the Supreme Court, dowry law is the most misused and abused law under the IPC. The judgment is being criticized by women's groups across the country.
बीच में थोड़ा सा सुधार हुआ था और ये उम्मीद हो गई थी कि लोग कानून से डरेंगे, क्योंकि एक कानून ही एक ऐसी जगह है जहाँ से कुछ उम्मीद होती है। पुलिस से कोई उम्मीद नहीं है महिलाओं को। ये जो गलत निर्णय होते रहे हैं उनके खिलाफ लड़ते रहे हैं। हमें झंडा और डंडा लेकर के सड़क पे उतरना है।
But the bigger question still remains unanswered. Are women really misusing the law, or is it another step to muzzle women's voices?
Right, we of course have someone nodding in disagreement and is obviously very unhappy in studio. We have joining us in that conversation Annie Raja, who's the General Secretary of the National Federation of Indian Women. We'll of course come to you for your reaction, but we also have online Imran Ali, who's a Delhi High Court lawyer. Now Imran, the court said that that a lot of women were misusing 498A of the Indian Penal Code, but they said that the police would have to actually look at the checklist under Section 41 of the Criminal Procedure Code. Now, for a layperson, what does this really imply?
See, this is a very welcoming judgment. We welcome this. Though there is nothing new in this judgment, because whatever is in 41, it's there since 1973 at the time of enactment of the Indian this Criminal Procedure Code. This 41 says police can only arrest a person who has committed an offense and the punishment is either 7 years or less than 7 years. So in certain cases, the police can arrest the accused only when police is having apprehension that the person will commit another offense. Second, that the person will not be available for inquiry. Third, person will not be if we let him free, then he will be tampering with evidence or will be inducing the victims or witnesses to come into his favor through threats or some inducement, or he will not be available at the time of court, at the time of trial, and there is nothing which can make sure that that person will be available in court to face the trial. So these are the things which are in 41, which is available since 1973, that police can only arrest when police is satisfied that these conditions, the accused person will not fulfill all these conditions, then they can only arrest. So the Supreme Court is doing nothing but reiterating 41 that you don't do police arbitrary or mechanical order that you go and arrest everyone, because 498A is punishable only for 3 years until unless it's with 304B, which is dowry death. If there is a death, then it's 498 is punishable up to life imprisonment and more than 7 years. Okay. So if there is no death, there is only complaint of harassment on the basis of dowry. Because not only the husband, but the family of husband is defined in 498A. Cruelty by husband and his family for the dowry.
All right.
So you cannot arrest a person who is only charged with 498A because the punishment is 3 years only. And he's ready to cooperate in investigation. He's readily available. There is no chances he will run away. So then don't do mechanical arrest. We welcome this judgment because it was there, but police was not doing and the agencies were not doing proper work. So now Supreme Court had said, no, you have to do it. And I tell you one more thing, it's not only for 498A, because if you read judgment in the last para, it said that it's not only for 498A, it's for all cases, those are having punishment less than 7 years or up to 7 years.
All right.
So in that scenario, we welcome this judgment. This is wonderful judgment, which is actually not only preventing 498 arbitrary arrest, but also preventing police
मेरा इंटरव्यू चल रहा है तो तुम ना बाहर के पे चला देना.
All right. Clearly, Annie, on the ground, there's a very different picture because statistics show that conviction rates are still very low, only 15%. What is your reaction to what the court said? And do you agree with how Imran is characterizing the way the court is trying to at least safeguard arbitrariness on the police's behalf?
See, before coming to any of these aspects, I would like to very categorically say that this court's verdict, it will have a very, very negative impact on women and especially the survivors of such crimes. So, and another thing I would like to also mention is that what is the role of judiciary? And here I think court has or judiciary has forgotten its role or constitutional this thing, and they have, you see, in our country we have hundreds of laws about different things, and I would like to ask, the first question is that is it the only law which is misused? And by using that word again and again, and by the media also highlighting women are misusing. If what Imran said, that's in a different way he is presenting. But the entire, since yesterday, the entire country is debating that women are misusing 498A. What does it mean? That means the women are very deliberately putting the family of her husband into trouble, and no, we are not. We want justice. Why such a 498A is there? Because there are many occasions and many enough evidence is there that women's rights are violated in the marriage.
So there's also the Domestic Violence Act that was passed. Why is it that despite all these legislations and laws in place, there is no really means of redressal?
Exactly, this is my second question. When court should have asked for the implementation of Dowry Prohibition Act, what are the measures in place? What are the mechanisms in place? Whether the country, the different states governments are doing enough to see that Dowry Prohibition Act is implemented in letter and spirit. Court is not at all bothered about that. Court is saying that 498A is misused by women. When in our country, the women are coming to voice her, or they are just started to voice their concerns, and they are trying to be little vocal. From every part, whether it is judiciary, whether it is executive, whether it is legislature, everyone, our final hope was with the judiciary, and judiciary is also turning hostile to us. On one day you will say that marital rape is not a crime, and another day you will say that, oh, if you don't invite your the husband for the name giving ceremony to your child, then that will be a very big crime against that man. What is this, all this happening?
This is very emotive, but also there is the other side of the story. We do have someone who was a party and a victim to the other side of the story. Vishal Tandon joins us also online. Now, Vishal, tell us your story, because clearly women's rights groups are a little upset with the implication of what the court has said, but you too have your story as well.
See, I would like to tell one thing to ma'am, that ma'am, I was just listening to the whole conversation, and ma'am was telling that the judiciary is saying that which law is not misused. I would like to say first thing that whatever debates I'm seeing nowadays on 498, I see all the women organization, they feel woman is equal to only wife, first of all. My mother is also a woman. I have not come across any woman organization coming to her and saying, yes, the law was misused against you and you got bedridden, you were hospitalized because of a law misuse. Second thing is that, you know, in a family, a Hindu system family, we should promote harmony. Whereas what I am seeing on the debates, that all the women organization, they want the husband to get jailed in the first instance. You should develop a family harmony. A person who's getting a jail, he develops a social stigma, he develops a mental stigma, he lost his job in a false case, and there is no law.
So can you tell us, Vishal, what happened in your instance?
In my case, the case is absolutely bizarre. I was studying, I stay in Indrapuram. My kid was studying in Delhi Public School, Ghaziabad. But I was slapped with a case under 156.3, which I did not know kya hota hai 156.3. In Ajmer, that my kid studies in Ajmer and I was slapped with a dowry case and a kidnapping case of my own son under 156(3). The judge ordered the police that I should be arrested. The police came all the way from Rajasthan. My kid was still there in the school at DPS Indirapuram. But the police did not listen to me. They arrested me at 7 o'clock in the morning, me and my father. They were whisked away to Ajmer all the way. And we were forced to bring the child to Ajmer. And then only we were released. And then they put a final report in the court कि okay, ये जो गलत फहमी में मुकदमा लगा दिया था, because of misunderstanding she filed a case against me and she labeled a baseless allegation of dowry against me that I used to demand a house at the time of marriage, a house that never existed. But still, after the FR was filed, she filed a protest application after 4 or 5 months. Now she has got a kid. She took the kid by not by guardian verdict. She took the kid by 365 by slapping a kidnapping case against me. I was not aware of the law. I'm just a normal human being working.
So
with
in your case, in your case, Vishal,
I lost my job. I lost my job because my wife, she mailed to everybody that I'm accused, I'm a criminal. She posted the FIR copy, and my boss said, "Boss, you have to come out of all this."
So Vishal, in your case, were you an estranged couple already?
No, we were not a strange couple. We were living together, but there was some differences. Like my in-laws, they were forcing me to join their house, which is a nearby house, and leave my parents. I already left my parents because of them. She ousted my parent about 3 years back, and she's an educated lady. She was earning 50,000-60,000 rupees. Today she has got 2 cases running against me. She has filed 1 case against me of domestic violence in Mumbai, and 498A is running in Ajmer. And in domestic violence, she has demanded 50 lakh rupees from me, which is again a reverse dowry. And all baseless allegation without any proof, but I'm facing the trial.
Okay.
I have to face the trial because I have to go down to court. In Supreme Court also, just hold on, I filed a child custody case in Ghaziabad court to get access to my child. She has registered and all the way she's giving false affidavit. She filed a transfer petition in Supreme Court. I was not having money to hire a lawyer in Supreme Court. I faced Mr. Lodha, who's the Chief Justice at the present in person. And I told the judge, ki, sir, she is giving a false affidavit in the court. He didn't listen to me. He said we don't do this falsity. Anyway, I hired a lawyer. He explained, and then Supreme Court ordered that the 340 should be registered against my wife in Supreme Court recently. And still, there's so many lacuna available. I have no law which I can actually file against her.
All right.
Registering a false affidavit giving is such a small thing. It leads to no conviction.
Okay, all right.
False affidavit is like
sure.
giving anything, boss, in the court.
Okay, we also joined in studio by Rohit Girda, who's from the Save Indian Family Foundation. You're the head of the Delhi chapter. What are your reactions? Of course, we have a case of someone saying that they were harassed, but what are your reactions to what the court said vis-a-vis the use of 498A and the fact that there is a checklist? The argument here is that this is already in place. There was no need for the court to have actually said it.
See, being a coordinator, as you said, I am a head of Delhi chapter. I am actually not the head of Delhi chapter. I look after the entire Uttar Pradesh.
Okay.
I had the Uttar Pradesh for Save Indian Family Foundation. Now, when it comes to this particular judgment, wherein the CRPC 41 has been reiterated that it should be implemented, over the years, these provisions of CRPC 41 were supposed to be followed by the police department, but they were evidently not following it since 2010.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to this judgment, the Supreme Court says these provisions of CRPC 41 should be followed religiously. If in case not followed, departmental inquiry or the contempt of court would be filed against the police IO and the magistrate if in case the provisions of CRPC 41 are not being religiously followed. Now, there had been a lot of hue and cry that this would dilute 498A, as in this is the only weapon, as in this is the only law that women have in India. I don't agree to that point. The reason being, the Apex Court has just said that you should implement CRPC 41 religiously. Now, the court has also said that you will have to give a reason in writing as to why you want to arrest a person. Also, if in case you are not arresting a person, you will have to give that too in writing to the magistrate that why would you not want to arrest this person.
Okay.
So now, when it comes to misusing, it would curtail the misuse to a little extent. The reason being, the police department will have to work religiously. They will investigate the matters religiously. They would collect the proof, as in they were not doing it earlier. They would collect the proofs, and if in case any harassment is found, then definitely the arrest permission would be given to the IO.
All right. Annie, I think that, like we were discussing before we came to show, there are a lot of lacunae in the way the laws are implemented. The laws in spirit are there. But what, from your experience of working with women on the ground, has been the extent of which they've had actually the rational means of taking recourse to these laws?
No, first of all, you could have actually had a family of victims, in the sense that the women, in Delhi, many girls committed suicide because of dowry harassment. And I am not saying that justice should be denied to this person or that person. My entire question is the reference of misusing thing.
Right.
Instead of that, it should have been not implementing the act in letter and spirit. That is the real thing.
Right.
From the part of police, what sort of investigation are they doing? What is the complaining mechanism we have? Our experience shows that when we go to the police station to register an FIR for any crime committed against the women, it is very, very difficult for the especially these dowry harassed women. They don't want to put every family member into the under the or into the prison or under the behind the bars. But the thing is, she needs justice. So when she first approached the police refused to, first of all, they refused to file and register the case or file an FIR. But after repeated visit to that police station, after repeated pressure from some organizations, police will be ready to register. Then what will they say? ये इसमें कोई दम नहीं है. जब तक आप इनका नाम भी डालो, इनका नाम भी डालो, आपको जस्टिस चाहिए ना, जस्टिस आपको चाहिए तो उनका भी डालो, इनका भी डालो. तो मुझे सिर्फ जस्टिस चाहिए. I need only justice for me against my injustices meted out to me. So by the advice of the enlightened and the police, she will be saying, आप लिखो ना, आप करो ना करके ये भी बता. I am talking about the ordinary people. I'm not. And then when it comes to the court, these vakils are not, the advocates are not advising the women to, you put mother-in-law's name, you put father-in-law's name. They are not doing it. So everybody should actually do an introspection, and instead of saying misusing, the most misused, who has done a study on the misusing of legislations in India or acts in India or the laws in India? Judiciary did a study on that.
You also
So
raise a very
what I
important
am trying to say is that instead of saying misusing, the court should have said that the police is not doing its job properly. The judiciary itself is not doing its job properly. These things should have been come out. Instead of that, the poor women, now everybody will look at the women with a suspicion, oh, she wants to put their in-laws family into jail.
So that's a very important point. I'm going to go across to Imran. Now, Imran, if you're hearing Annie in studio, the one thing she's saying is, it's rather than misuse, what about the lacunae in the reporting, in the actual prosecution, and the work that the police should be doing on ground?
No, with due apology, I don't agree with the ma'am, because the thing is, 498 is being misused. I tell you, the thing is, first you tell me what is justice. Justice means you send everybody behind bars, or justice means the justice should be delivered to you. I believe the arrest is not justice. This is one thing. Second thing is, why courts are taking such a view on 498A. She's very well right that police is asking that you put name of the mother-in-law, father-in-law and everybody, then only you will get justice. I tell you why this happened. This happened when you put everybody's name, your bargain power increases. The thing is, whenever there is a 498A case, then it will go to women's cell, and there they call everybody, victim as well as the accused person, and if there is a possibility of settlement, they ask for the settlement. To tell you frankly, now this women's cell of police, they become extortion center. Now they are demanding.
You say that. You say that.
I'm telling.
Let me finish.
I can take you to the court, ma'am, where the judge prompted me to pay 30 lakhs to my wife.
Please, madam. Please, sir, listen. So these all women's health center, they become extortion center. There you go, then they are there for the victim, and they say, I want 50 lakh rupees, then only I will take back the case. Now you tell me if these are the genuine cases. I believe 90% of cases, those go to women's cell in 498A, they're being withdrawn on the term and condition of the settlement and mediation, in which you have to pay. The groom family has to pay the money. So why you induce name? You induce name, the more the relatives, more the family members, then there is a bargain power you have in the hand more. The thing is this, and I'm telling you, this misuse and abuse is actually correct thing, because when you are using a law in your favor, you being a victim, I support you and everybody supports you. But the idea is, when there is a punishment, there is no death, you never been beaten, there is no medical evidence, you never been tortured, you are living separate from your in-laws families, then in that case, a 60-year-old in-laws, why they should be sent to the jail.
Okay.
That's what the important thing here is, and that's what the court is saying.
No, but ma'am,
See,
you also
you want
so,
to arrest,
fine, you made a
arrest,
point,
but
Imran.
if it is only
Sure.
498A, which is 3-year punishment, then why you want to keep me in police?
Okay.
In imprisonment, in jail, I'm ready to face trial, I'm ready to face investigation. I give condition in my bail that I will not tamper with evidence. Then what's wrong? Why you want to arrest me?
Okay. Now, ma'am, right in the beginning of the show, you pointed out the biggest problem is that the Dowry Prohibition Act. It's something that has not been implemented in letter and spirit. Would you say that perhaps we need to go back to the drawing board and sort of ask those questions of why what is in letter and spirit has not been put in place, a preventative measure, rather than getting to this stage?
First of all, when the menace of dowry is abolished in our country, then such things won't come. So we are not looking at the larger issues. And when it comes to this question, 498A, he said, is it justiciable is it justice that to send everybody in? We don't want to send anybody. The police is doing that. We
So what
have
about his
complained.
allegation
We
that the
have
women's cell is
complained.
in itself
That
becoming a
I
problem?
have not done any study of that.
Okay.
Cases are coming to us, our organization, our family counseling center, and we deal with that. And if both the parties or either one of the parties not satisfied, we advise them to go to the approach to the judiciary, and we don't recommend any advocate even for that. But we will show them you can go. This is the way to approach the judiciary. That is what we are doing. We never extract any money. If he being in that fraternity, he is making such an allegation or such a statement. So it is for him. I don't say that because we have not done any study on that, whether the women's cell is an extra, what is that, money minting unit or whatever may be. We have not done any study on that.
Okay.
But again, I would like to say the survivor or the victim of dowry harassment, I am telling you, they want only justice. But the system, if the system sends the entire in-laws family into jail, what is my fault? I want justice. Why? No women will like to approach police or court or take their family into such a thing. No, it is not a nice thing in our society.
So, Rohit, I think that's a very moot point, and I think you've been dealing with issues of families being torn apart by this phenomenon. It is a family matter. It is very, very testy. There are a lot of social implications, like Vishal pointed out. It's a very sensitive issue. Would it not serve the purpose better to first look at the larger issues of counseling families to settle, A, and B, look at the whole dowry question as a country as a whole?
See, in my opinion, when it comes to Dowry Prohibition Act, that has failed miserably. 498A again has failed miserably. Now, when we talk about Dowry Prohibition Act, we say that taking dowry is a crime, and Dowry Prohibition Act says again giving dowry is also equally same crime at the same extent. If in case a person, say for instance, I am the one who's facing this charge, and I walk up to the court and I want to file a case against my in-laws that they have given dowry. Now, what happens in the CAW cells is, once you go to the CAW cell, they will ask the lady to bring all the details of the material that were given to the lady at the time of the marriage. Now, all the gifts those that were given to the lady turns out to be dowry. One, when they say that you have to bring this dowry list, why immediately at the same point in time the cognizance is not taken and the family is booked for giving dowry? Now, if you start implicating in-laws of the man for giving dowry, these cases would come to an end. This would say.
So also, ma'am, the big question is there's this whole debate of what is Sridan, what is dowry.
Yes,
Do you
yes.
think that once and for all there has to be a very strong definition of giving and taking in marriage custom? law?
You see, in our country, we have many legislations, and even in this Dowry Prohibition Act, it was also undergone an amendments. So when time changes, the amendments will have to be there, and when we after the implementation in letter and spirit of the existing legislations, when we will learn what are the lacunas, and accordingly the amendment should be brought in. Now what is happening in our country, we will pass any number of legislation after any incident. So and very interestingly, all the laws which are in for the so-called protection and safety of women in this country are made on their blood and body. That's a different thing. Whenever such an incident happens, suddenly everybody will come up and some legislation. But after that, nobody is there to know either the legislature which passes the law, either the legislature or the executive or the judiciary is not there to see these acts are implemented letter and spirit, or what is the impact of this, or do we need to change this sort of a counter checking is not, that system is not there. So
Checks
that
and
is what,
balances are
yeah,
not
checks
there.
and balances.
Okay, so we'll just close the show. Imran, I think the big question is now going beyond what happens next, because it goes beyond just the legal question. It's a social issue as well. The whole fact of giving and taking on the one hand, and the fact that convictions are still very low in dowry cases. So we're going to close the show, but what do you see as a solution to this very emotive problem?
No, I tell you one thing to the Annie ma'am, that this judgment is not anti-victim. Actually, it's against police arbitrary power. So please welcome, because this is not saying anything to the victim. It's saying police, please don't do misuse and use. It's for police, not for the victim. This is one thing. Second thing, if we want to change scenario and we have to look out socially, we have to look out concept of marriage in India and concept of dowry in India.
family itself.
Family, marriage, and then dowry. Why there is dowry? Because then you have to go into detail of social aspect of marriage. Then somebody can marry by choice or not. When why family is marrying somebody to somebody, and then these are the questions which should be socially looked into. And I'm totally with madam. If there is a clear cut evidence, then if there is a dowry death or if there is a torture, there are clear medical reports, then people should be arrested. This is one thing. The third thing which I want to say, that we should welcome the judgment, because it's not against victim, it's against the arbitrary power of the police. This is the thing which I welcome in this judgment, and we have to look into the spirit of the court, because this is not a public interest litigation. This is an individual case in which court is observing all this and passing this kind of judgment. This is the thing, and we should also consider why there is a low conviction rate, because at the time of trial or at the time of proceeding in the court, there is always mediation. Women are asking for money. If you pay them money, the cases being withdrawn. That's how the conviction rate is very low, because of the false complaint. Second, because there is a mediation and settlement. So which itself revealed that there are lots of false cases being implemented, and because of these false cases, we actually diluted the law.
Okay.
Law is very good. Law is always there, because once again and again falsely you use it, then it become dilute. That's what happening. Don't misuse, don't use it false cases. Then law is very strong. It will always be there. Why there is an apprehension that these are the false cases?
Okay.
Because there has been false cases
Alright.
in past.
Okay. We're also going to, I think, ma'am, one reaction, I think, like you said, you were very upset. You're saying it's a question also of perception and in the way the media and everyone's talked about the issue. I think it's a question of sensitizing and educating as well on why there is enough not being done to prevent the ill of dowry.
Now, this all depends upon the political will and the social commitment of the government and the judiciary and the police and everybody, even in society. So all these, until and unless all these things come together and determine and decide that these laws, whatever laws are there, that will be implemented in letter and spirit. That should be there. It is not that, again, what while concluding he was telling women are taking money, women are, so again you want to picturize the women, you want to paint the women as they are doing all these things just for money. Why, finally, I am asking you, why the women are forced to go against or to register a complaint at all against the in-laws? Why she is forced to do that? Because that condition is the so-called the initially that you brought one victim. He was telling the Hindu family. I did not mention that at that time, because it is not the question of Hindu or Christian, or this is the question of the dignity of women. This is the question of the so-called Indian family values. What is that family?
So I think we
women
need to have
are
a much
suffering,
larger debate.
women are living in a family in a suffocated atmosphere. Can we call it, and you maintain that and say we are for family values? What is it all?
So finally, Rohit, I think it's a question of having a larger debate. Because these are issues of family, social issues. It's a much larger problem.
Totally in agreement to that. I agree this is an issue of larger debate. However, when it comes to men, have no laws at all. And why is it that people want the person to be arrested immediately as soon as the complaint is made? Why is there such hue and cry? If police can take some time, collect the evidences, if in case the person is at fault, definitely he should be arrested and prosecuted. But if he is innocent, who would return the dignity and the time the person would be losing in jail?
All right, we're actually totally out of time. Vishal, you had something to say, but if you could say it really quickly, because we're completely out of time.
Okay, since ma'am is there, ma'am promotes women laws also. Woman, she works for the welfare of the women. I would just like to request one thing to ma'am, that there is a child also, in case of married couple, there are children also involved. So if the child rights can be ensured right from the day one, before the parties are allowed to litigate among themselves, so that will be much better, because what happens is child are getting alienated. I have not seen my child in the past 4 years. So that is also something the women organization should work for, and they should not only fight only for wife, they should fight for the overall woman. Woman doesn't mean only wife. Wife is not suffocated. My mother also got suffocated. So I would like, I can invite her to my house also. She can always come and have a look. That's the only thing. That there should be family harmony should be
Vishal,
promoted
Vishal.
instead of litigation.
Vishal-
Litigation should be avoided.
Vishal, what I am trying to say is that the law should be implemented in true spirit and in letter and spirit. Now everybody, even you are saying that the law is violated by the police. So it is not the fault of the women, Vishal. That's what I am trying to say. It is not the fault of the victim or the women who was given a complaint. How the police, police conduct its inquiry, how they perform their responsibility, how they perform their duty. That is what we need to address. And I think the Family Save Family Foundation and all don't think that there is no law for this. Dowry 498 is also for men. It is not but it is misusing by whom? By the police, not by the
Okay,
victim
okay.
or not by the
Sure,
women.
fair.
So
So
we
we're
all should work together.
Absolutely.
For a better condition.
All
That
right.
is
So
what
we're
I would
completely
like
out
to
of
say.
time. We're
Last
completely
note.
out of time. Just we could continue having this conversation. We will of course see a lot of buzz online. Do continue logging on to IndiaPostLive.com. We will continue having more debates around this burning question of whether we should look at how the police conducts itself rather than attacking those who are victims on either side. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.